right, buckle up, everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into a topic that's near and dear to every Israeli's heart, bureaucracy.
You got that right.
But hey, before you switch off, this isn't your typical paperwork nightmare story.
No, sir.
We're talking digital revolution, folks. Specifically, the הספח תעודת זהות, that little annex to your תעודת זהות. Yeah, that one is going digital. And we've got all the juicy details.
We sure do. We dug through articles explaining the shift, how-to guides, even official government websites. So consider this deep dive your cheat sheet to navigating this whole new digital landscape.
Perfect. So for anyone out there who might be new to the Israeli system, let's start with the basics. What exactly is a תעודת זהות? And what's the deal with this הספח? I mean, what's it even for?
Right, so your תעודת זהות, think of it as your main ID card in Israel, your way to prove who you are. Now, the הספח is like this add-on document. It's got all those extra details, your address, marital status, that sort of thing, that stuff that's not on the main card. And for ages, it's been this paper document. Forever, it feels like. But now things are changing.
So no more scrambling for that crumpled piece of paper buried at the bottom of your wallet.
Exactly.
Count me in. I'm already sold. But why now, Why the sudden switch to digital?
Well, for starters, it's just way more convenient. Think about it. You can access your digital הספח whenever you need it, wherever you are, right from your phone. No more worrying about losing it or needing to make photocopies or, the dog eating it or something.
Yeah, or spilling coffee on it. Been there.
Happens to the best of us.
Okay, so convenience check. But what about security? Is this digital version as secure as the old paper one?
Absolutely. I mean, the digital הספח has some pretty robust security measures built in to protect your information. You're accessing it through secure government platforms, so you can rest assured your data is safe, plus less risk of, identity theft or fraud because you don't have this physical document floating around.
That makes sense. So let's talk about how we actually get our hands on this digital הספח. Is it a complicated process? What do we have to do?
Actually, it's super straightforward. There's this website called Mazakal, which, translates to what is easy.
Okay. Love the name already.
Right. It's all about making interacting with government services, easy. And they've got all the information you need about getting your digital הספח.
Wait, so there's a whole website dedicated to this. That's pretty impressive.
It is. They've really streamlined the process. You can find everything you need on there. It's really well laid out, very user-friendly. And get this, if you get stuck or have any questions, they even have a WhatsApp number you can message.
No way. WhatsApp for government services. Now, that's what I call progress. What's the number?
It's 058-773-2701. So, yeah, write that down, folks.
You got it. Okay, so we've covered convenience, security, and even a little bit of awesome customer service.
Always a plus.
But before we get too carried away with all this digital talk, we got to address the elephant in the room. Privacy. I mean, with all this personal information going digital, how do we know it's being protected?
Yeah, that's a big one, and it's a valid concern for sure. But the good news is that privacy is a top priority in this whole system. They've designed the digital הספח with these really strict data protection measures in place. Access is controlled, and your information is only shared when absolutely necessary and only with authorized parties.
So it's not like my whole life is suddenly an open book just because I have a digital הספח.
Absolutely not. You're still in control of your data, and the whole system is designed to make sure it's handled with, the utmost care.
Okay, good to know. But here's a question. If we're moving towards a more digital future, why even bother with a separate הספח at all? Why not just put all the information on the תעודת זהות chip itself and call it a day?
Right, that's a great question, and it gets to the core of how they're designing this whole digital shift. So the biometric chip on your תעודת זהות, that's mainly for the most basic information. Your name, ID number, photo, the stuff that doesn't really change. The הספח has all those additional details that might need updating more often, like your address or your marital status.
I see. So keeping those things separate makes updating them a lot easier. Makes sense.
Exactly. And it also gives you more control over what information you share in different situations. Not everything on your הספח needs to be on a chip.
Right. That makes sense from a privacy perspective, too. So it's not just about going digital for the sake of it. It's about finding the most secure and efficient way to manage all this information.
Exactly. It's about making it work for you.
Okay, so we've got convenience, security, privacy. Sounds like we're off to a good start. But before we get too excited, let's talk about the practical side of things. If I decide to go fully digital, will every place actually accept it? I mean, we're talking banks, government offices, the whole shebang.
Well, that's the thing. The government has been working really hard to get everyone on board with this digital הספח. They've been talking to all sorts of institutions, from banks to government offices, to make sure everyone's ready to accept it. They really want to make this transition as smooth as possible.
So no more of those awkward moments where you pull out your phone and the clerk gives you that skeptical look like, what is that?
Hopefully not. And hey, that's where Bkalt comes in again. They've got a full list on their website of all the places that accept the digital setbook, so check it out and you'll know exactly where you stand.
Perfect. I love it when things are clear and easy to understand.
Me too. And if it's not, just send them a WhatsApp message. Remember, 058-773-2701. They're there to help.
Right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about how convenient and secure the digital setbook is, how to get it, and even how to make sure it's accepted everywhere. But before we move on, are there any downsides or potential challenges we need to be aware of? I mean, every rose has its thorns, right?
Well, of course, any new system comes with its growing pains, and I think one of the biggest challenges is just making sure everyone is comfortable with this shift to digital. You know, not everyone is tech savvy.
That's a really important point. We need to make sure no one gets left behind in this digital revolution. What about people who might not have access to smartphones or the internet, or who just struggle with technology in general?
Yeah, that's a valid concern, and it's something the government is working on addressing. They're trying to provide support and alternative options for those who need them. They really want to make sure everyone can benefit from this digital transformation.
That's great to hear. So let's say someone is listening to this and thinking, all right, I'm ready to go digital. What's their first step? Where do they start?
Head straight to the Bkalt website. They've got a step-by-step guide on how to get your digital setbook. It's really easy to follow. And as I mentioned before, if you have any questions, just shoot them a WhatsApp message. That number again is 058-773-2701. Seriously, they're amazing.
Okay, so Bkalt is the go-to for all things digital setbook. Got it. But this whole conversation has got me thinking about something bigger. Is this just about one document going digital? Or is it a sign of a much bigger shift happening in Israel? I mean, are we on the cusp of a digital revolution?
That's a question that deserves its own deep dive.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
But let's just say this digital setbook could be just the tip of the iceberg.
Intriguing.
There's so much more to explore.
All right, listeners, you heard it here first. Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll delve even deeper into this digital revolution and what it means for the future of, well, pretty much everything in Israel.
Can't wait. Welcome back, digital explorers. Ready to dive even deeper.
You bet. Last time we unpacked the what, the why, and the how of this whole digital setbook thing.
Right, we covered the basics.
But now I'm curious, how does this all fit into the bigger picture of, like, digital transformation in Israel? Is this just a one-off thing, or is there something bigger going on here?
Oh, it's definitely part of a much bigger trend. I mean, the Israeli government has been steadily moving towards digital for years now, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Like, I can pay my taxes online now, renew my driver's license, even register my dog online. Is there anything we can't do online these days?
Seriously. The list gets shorter by the day. And that's why this digital setbook is such a big deal. I mean, think about it. As more and more services move online, having a secure and reliable digital ID becomes crucial, right?
Yeah, it's like the key to unlocking all these other digital doors.
Exactly. It's all about creating this integrated, efficient digital ecosystem.
Okay, I'm following you, but let's zoom back in on the SEPA for a sec. We talked about how it has info that's not on the Zehut chip itself. Why is that? Why not just put everything on the chip and be done with it?
Well, for a couple of reasons. One is, well, the chip itself has limited space. It's designed to hold, like, the most basic identifying information, your name, your photo, that kind of stuff.
Okay, that makes sense. But wouldn't it just be simpler to have everything in one place?
Maybe, but remember, not all the information on the setbook needs to be permanently etched onto a chip. I mean, some details, like your address, they can change pretty often.
Oh, so keeping it separate makes updating those details much easier.
Exactly, and plus it gives you more control over what information you're sharing and when.
Right. Privacy, gotta love it.
Exactly. And speaking of helping you navigate this whole thing, you know, we've talked about Bkalt and how they help you get your digital setbook set up.
Yeah, they seem pretty awesome.
They are, but their role goes way beyond that initial setup, you know?
Oh, really? How so?
Well, they're really committed to making this whole digital transition smooth for everyone. They provide ongoing support, you know, answer questions, help you troubleshoot any issues. They want to make sure you feel comfortable using it.
So it's not like you're just thrown into the digital deep end and left to figure it out on your own?
Not at all. They're there to guide you through it.
Okay, that's a huge relief. But let's talk about the what-ifs, right? Like, what if someone's phone dies? Or they don't have internet access when they need to show their digital setbook.
Yeah, good point. That's why it's smart to have backup options. Like, we definitely encourage everyone to go digital, but there might still be times when you need a physical copy.
So don't toss those old paper setbook just yet.
Exactly. It's always good to have a backup just in case. Plus, you know, those self-service stations we mentioned, those are still available if you ever need to print a copy.
So we're not totally abandoning the physical world just yet.
Nope. It's about finding that balance, you know, embracing the digital, but still having options for those who need them.
Makes sense. And it sounds like Bkalt is really key to making sure that balance is there.
Oh, absolutely. They're a crucial resource. I mean, if you have any questions about the digital step-off, the process, or just digital identity in general, they're the people to talk to. And remember, you can reach them on WhatsApp at 058-773-2701.
Okay, that's super helpful. So we've talked practicality, privacy, even potential bumps in the road. But I want to circle back to that big picture question we touched on earlier. This shift towards a digital step-off, does it tell us something about the future of digital identity in Israel? Are we just scratching the surface here?
Now that is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. I need answers.
Well, let's just say this digital step-off could be the first step in a much bigger journey.
Ooh, a cliffhanger. I love it.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll explore those possibilities and see where this digital road might lead.
Okay, deep divers, we're back for the final leg of our journey into the digital step-off.
The grand finale.
Exactly. We've explored what it is, how it works, the whole 9 yards. But now I want to step back and think big picture, like really big picture.
Go for it.
This shift to a digital step-off, is it just about this one document, or is it a sign of something much bigger happening in Israel?
That's the question, isn't it? Is this just the tip of the iceberg?
Exactly. Give us the goods. What's your take?
Well, I think it definitely reflects a much broader trend. I mean, digital transformation is happening everywhere, right? Not just in Israel, but around the world.
Yeah, true. It's like everything's going digital these days.
Exactly, and Israel's no exception. I mean, look at all the sectors that have already made the leap: banking, healthcare, education. It's incredible.
It really is. It's amazing how much we can do online now that used to be such a hassle. But what's driving this whole push towards digital, Why now?
Well, a lot of reasons. Efficiency is a big one, right? Digital solutions streamline things, they reduce errors, and save everyone time and money.
And who doesn't love saving time and money?
Right, but it goes beyond that. The digital systems can also be more secure, more transparent, and more accessible.
Okay, I like where you're going with this. So it's not just about convenience, it's about improving systems overall.
Exactly. It's about giving people more control, making information easier to access, and making sure things are done fairly.
I love it. And speaking of making things easier, let's shout out to our friends at Bkalt one more time.
Yes, they are really doing a fantastic job of making this whole digital transition smooth and accessible.
Their website is a treasure trove of information, folks. If you haven't checked it out yet, you're missing out.
And don't forget, you can reach out to them directly if you have any questions. Their WhatsApp number is 058-773-2701.
Okay, so we've established that the digital SAFOC is part of this much larger movement towards digitalization. But now, for the ultimate question, the one we've all been waiting for, could this be a stepping stone towards a fully digitized Israeli identity system?
The million-dollar question. Now, our sources don't explicitly say that's in the works,
But there's a but.
But it's definitely a possibility worth considering. Think about it.
Okay, I'm thinking.
Imagine a world where your entire identity, not just the information on the SAFOC, but everything, is securely stored and accessible digitally.
Whoa, mind blown. It's something out of a sci-fi movie?
Right. I mean, think of the possibilities. It could completely revolutionize how we interact with the government, with businesses, with each other.
Yeah, it could streamline services, reduce bureaucracy, increase security. The potential benefits are huge.
They are. But of course there would be challenges too, like data security would be paramount, right? Making sure people's information is protected and that there's no unauthorized access.
Absolutely. And what about people who aren't comfortable with technology? We need to make sure everyone can participate and that no one gets left behind.
Exactly. Accessibility and inclusivity would have to be top priorities.
It sounds like a massive undertaking, but the potential rewards are incredible.
They are. And who knows, maybe this digital SAFOC is the first step on that journey. Maybe it's paving the way for a future where our digital identities are as seamlessly integrated into our lives as, well, our smartphones.
Okay, folks, you heard it here first. The future is digital, and it's coming fast. This deep dive has given us a lot to think about, from the practicalities of the digital SAFOC to the potential for a fully digitized future.
It's amazing how one little document can spark such big questions.
It really is. And thanks to initiatives like Bkalt, we're not just along for the ride. We're empowered to understand and navigate this new digital landscape. So as you go about your day, keep your eyes open for those subtle signs of change, those little hints of what the future might hold.
Because the digital revolution is happening all around us.
And who knows, maybe we're all just pioneers in a brave new digital world. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the digital SAFOC. We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration.
See you then.